This is the Chapter 7 overview. Note that this video overview is to give you an idea of what will be covered and what you should focus on in Chapter 7. It should not replace reading the chapter for important details or completing any activity. Chapter 7 focuses on purchasing a home. Just as in the other chapters, you see a chart there of the home buying process, determining home ownership needs. And the second one, find and evaluate a property to purchase, price the property, obtain financing, and closing the purchase transaction. 5 steps. First, you should look at renting versus buying. Should you rent or should you buy? Your choice should be based on your lifestyle, financial factors, mobility versus permanence. Are you there permanently, or do you think that you may be moving up into a different position where you'll have to move? Renting is less costly in the short run. Home ownership is a long-term financial advantage. Housing affordability. This is a quick calculation on determining how much house you can afford. In our example, the couple that we're looking at earned $45,000 plus $70,000 for a combined income of $115,000. The suggested guideline is 2.5 times your income, so they could afford a house of $287,500. Plus a $40,000 down payment, so they could afford a house of $327,500. This does not mean that most couples would go to the very limits of what they can afford, because you do want to consider how much work you need to put into the house and your lifestyle, because you may not want to be totally committed as high as you can be to a house. It may be that you want a nicer car, or you want to save more, etc. The form to compare can be found at the end of Chapter 7. Be sure you always look at those forms. You can get a slightly lower interest rate for a 15-year loan, but the payment would be higher each month. Be sure to pre-qualify before looking for a house, so you have an idea of what you can get qualified for. PI is principal plus interest. PITI is principal plus interest plus taxes plus insurance. In closing costs, there are lots of signing of documents. You should look at the cost that's usually associated with closing on a house by the buyer and by the seller. You'll see that there's quite a bit by the buyer that you have to pay, including most of the time an upfront survey that could run anywhere from $400 to $1,000. Be sure to read the chapter in detail to get more important information concerning buying of a house. End of this video.